Good afternoon, everybody. It's nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the 25th of June, 2025. And following the news, I guess I'll just get right into the news. I'm at, first tell you where I'm at. I got off at, on the blue line, Ploshad Yakuba Kolisa, and right in a ways behind me is the Komorovsky Rynek. You know, that's the place you buy a bunch of vegetables and fruits, and you can get meats and all kinds of stuff. And right over here is a traditional Belarusian restaurant, Aido. I think they have a number of those in Minsk, maybe in Belarus, I have no idea. But anyway, just watching people go by, people watching me, lots of them. Okay, so now get into the news. It seems probable that at least for the short period of time, this ceasefire between Israel and Iran is going to hold, at least for a short period of time. It's not going to last forever. Everybody knows that. Too much hostility there. I don't know, Donald Trump. I don't know, do you call it hopeful thinking, or is he being deceptive, or whatever? And he seems to be putting out over and over and over again that he destroyed the uranium enrichment capacity of Iran, but so many people, including like CNN, as a matter of fact, even a lot of these intelligence agencies within the United States, they say no, he didn't. You know, it's more than superficial damage, but it's not that much more. So I guess the main part of it is not really destroyed. They had been able to get, as you all know, I think I put out, everybody's put out, they got all the uranium out of there, and they moved it to some other place, 60%. And I found out, I guess you have to have at least to 90% of the or the uranium has to be enriched to at least 90% to be weapons grade material. So it's not. And it's already been put out by a lot of people that it's a big farce. Donald Trump was going through a big farce, and like I said, my theory, I don't even know that it's theory, because other people are now coming out with this, and it seems very true, that Donald Trump bombed the place as a payback for Israel making him president. That's my theory. And of course the deep state stood down, maybe because that's exactly what they wanted as well. So maybe they heard about the deal and they said, well, we've got to finally get Iran. We've been working on this for decades and it hasn't happened, you know. And who was it? Steve Bannon, I believe, was putting out, some other people putting out, that the United States tried so many different things. They tried so many deceptions. You know, United States and Israel, you know, they're one and the same, actually. Definitely they're one and the same. Like assassinating the scientists, and they tried all kinds of different measures, and I guess it just came out they needed a brutal full assault on this, and of course maybe that didn't even work. Some people are even projecting that Iran had other enrichment facilities rather than those three, and I don't know, a lot of people are saying all three of them are still close to operational, that it only set them back. Some people are saying 2 months, some people are saying 6 months, who knows? I don't know. Only your hairdresser knows for sure. So, but it's very probable and probably a sure thing. Israel is not going to stop. It's not about nuclear enrichment. It's not anything close to that. It is about trying to destroy Iran and put them back to the Stone Age. The United States has a doctrine, I've mentioned it before, and I'm not even sure what the name is, but to keep any country that has strong economic potential, to put them down, to keep them put down. And those that have already achieved that, such as China and Russia, well, you see what's going on already. They're going after them. Donald Trump is kind of playing a deceptive game, I think, with Russia, and of course with China. There's no doubt about that. So he might be a little bit better and sound a little bit more honest, and maybe he is a little bit more honest than some of these other ones like Joe Biden. Anyway, that's a big, what do you call it? Big can of worms to try to get into that. Rick Sanchez. Rick Sanchez, he used to be with CNN, he's now with RT. and he's having a blast because he can talk whatever he wants to, and they said he was constricted very much by CNN. In the United States, they tell you what you can say, what you can't say, and all. And he says that he's having a heyday right now. He can say what he wants to. So he interviewed a Colonel Wilkerson, and I believe I definitely heard that name. I can't remember actually where, but he was interviewing him, and he was the former Secretary of State, Chief of Staff. So he had a very high position. He told Sanchez that the leaders of Ukraine have all been oligarchs, and I guess that's all true. Zelensky is undeniably an oligarch. I mean, if you look at who put him there, Kolomoisky or whatever, who was an oligarch. He was maybe the richest person in Ukraine, and of course Zelensky took him down, and Zelensky has this very rapid rise to power. Zelensky might be the richest man in Ukraine now. He probably is. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He's into so many different businesses, mining and casinos and wineries, and the, not to mention the television networks and movie industry. He basically has a monopoly on that in Ukraine. News, everything that's put out in media-wise, Zelensky has a monopoly on that. So that's why, Diana Panchenko, she had to run to get out of there, and she's doing pretty good. If you know who she is, a young girl, and she's calling out a lot of things. She's put out a lot of information that, of course, Ukraine. She's on the Merovitz kill list. How many people are on that? You never know. You might have hundreds of them on there, people that they want to get killed. It's sort of like Obama. Obama pretty much assuredly had a kill list, but it was always a secret kill list. And I don't know. Some people think that's theory, but I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember those times. I wasn't paying attention to it, but I believe everything, and I don't believe anything. Does that make any sense? Anyway, okay. But anyway, Wilkerson, when he was working in there, I don't even remember who he was working for, if it was Obama or whatever, but he also put out that it was very much agreed upon, and it probably to a large extent is, maybe in private circles in the United States government, that Ukraine is the most corrupt country on the face of the planet. So they believed it then, and I believe they probably still believe it now. And he said, of course, that the leaders there don't care about the people. Where have you heard that before? Well, I guess that was me. But I'll tell you what, I'll go even further. I'll say a lot of these Western leaders, they really don't care. They care a little bit, I'd say a little bit, about their people. I don't know if Zelensky cares at all about his people. Zelensky cares about Zelensky. Zelensky cares about Zelensky's wealth. He's probably got some friends, of course, people that help him out, that scratch his back. He probably cares about them a little bit. But about his regular people, I mean, who would shovel hundreds of thousands of people to certain death, and then act like you have some kind of sympathy for them? He doesn't care. It's very obvious. And of course, you think the European leaders care about the Ukrainians? Of course they don't. They'd rather see the Russians massacred first, and then of course they want the Ukrainians to go as well. I mean, they've even said that as much. Anyway, let's keep going here. So Trump keeps insisting, like I said, in spite of things that everybody else is putting out. I guess there's probably 10 people that believe that they obliterated Iran's completely obliterated their ability to enrich uranium. I don't believe it for 1 second. How much damage? I don't know, but completely, absolutely not, positively not. You don't think that they got some of that stuff out of there when they knew that it was going to happen? They definitely have some centrifuges, so don't even go with that. So what else we have here? 5 NATO countries have pulled out of the Ottawa Treaty, and I guess that's a ban on like landmines, maybe other aspects of it as well, probably cluster munitions as well. But those 5 countries, and now they're putting anti-personnel landmines all along their borders, and it goes from way up north down to Poland, all through Poland. So they're filling the whole place up with landmines, and I don't know what the point is if I guess maybe they're expecting that Russia and Belarus are going to invade. But I'll tell you what it really has to do with. It has to do with money. So they're going to probably pay, just some rough estimate, $30, say $50 for a landmine, and they pocket maybe 20 of it, or maybe they said it says they pay 50, but it's actually 80, and 30 of it goes into their pockets. And it's not necessarily in their pockets, it goes into their campaigns and everything else. Anything that facilitates their golden parachute, their road to riches. Of course, they want to make it a little bit discreet, but they want to keep on going, as you know, just like old Mr. Zelensky. And you guys all know about him. Too many people have put out all about Zelensky. So any of those five countries, they include Finland. Oh, they signed an agreement with Russia. It's like that they stay neutral, and Russia will never attack them. But of course, they decided they didn't want to be neutral. They wanted to go against Russia, and Finland had it beautiful. They could do anything they want in the east. They could do anything they want in the west. They don't have to build a big military. They had it perfectly fine. They had it made. But it makes you really wonder what if somebody was threatened, or if they were threatened and somebody bribed to get Finland to be a part of this NATO now. So let's not even say any more about that, because it's all kind of speculation of what happened behind closed doors. I don't know. So Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland. Oh, what a surprise. All of the Chihuahua states and Poland. So, and they're calling it the New Iron Curtain. Bernie Sanders, he said, and he thought it would be impressive, he said that Elon Musk put in $270 million into helping Trump get elected. $270 million. And I think it was, he was on this was on Joe Rogan, but somebody else had commented, well, it's really strange because somebody put in $1.5 billion for Kamala Harris. So $270 million is a drop in the bucket compared to $1.5 billion. I don't know if Kamala Harris has been able to pay all that money back, or, by donations and everything. Donald Trump said he'd even donate. Anyway. But I think it's turned out that Kamala Harris, her campaign was even more expensive than Barack Obama's, and I think Barack Obama had the most expensive campaign in history. I don't know about Donald Trump's compared to that. Nobody's talked completely about that. But you needed a lot of money to get Obama in there. For all the PR and everything else that Obama had. So Harvard University, they put out a study, and the study concluded that since October 23rd, supposedly Israel's 9/11, when Hamas went in and killed billions of people, and raped a lot of women, and of course all of this is complete fabrication. Has Israel ever lied to you now? Come on. I guarantee you, if you take out Saddam Hussein, it will have enormous reverberations in the Middle East, of course, and it did, but not exactly as Bibi Netanyahu was explaining it. And that's kind of what we have. Well, I don't know. In truth, there doesn't have to be any reverberations of anything, of course. It just keeps Israel just wants to keep everybody down, so that nobody confronts them into constructing Eretz Israel, greater Israel, to take huge portions of the Middle East and make a huge country out of it, out of Israel, in their drive for conquest of the masters of the Middle East. Okay, what else so you got here? But anyway, it was since that time, October 2023, and of course a lot of these things were lies, as you all know anyway. Israel, I think it was like, I believe some people have the number of people that were killed, I think it was up as high as like, I don't know if it was like 315 or 320 or whatever, not 1,200, and nobody was raped there. Do you think, who has time to do that? Who has time to do that in a few hours? Do you think they're going to, instead of going out around and fighting, they're going to go bunka, 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 and that's a complete fabrication on Israel's part. So, okay, but what happened? Anyway, Harvard University put out a study that concluded that since October 2023, that Israel has disappeared nearly 400,000 people. 377 according. I don't even know where Harvard gets this. I don't even think that that is necessarily accurate, but everybody knows that it's very, very probable that Israel killed at least 60,000 people in Gaza. Because these people that they've not been able to find, you know, that are buried under the rubble and probably crushed into liquid, they can't say that these are dead people because you have to have the body to do so. And anyway, but there's, I don't even know what the real unofficial number is, maybe 55,000 or something like that, but I'm sure it's over 60,000. And most of them children, of course. Israel loves to kill children, loves. They've even admitted it. You can find tapes that said they love to kill Palestinian children. So great people, though. God's chosen people. That's what God's chosen people tell you. Really appropriate, isn't it? Sound like something God would really want to do? Very sick, very sick. It all starts with people like Bibi Netanyahu. You have Lindsey Graham, who's a Zionist. I hate to say it, Donald Trump is definitely a Zionist. When you're helping these people in Zionism, you're a Zionist. He might not be an extreme Zionist. You got this, it's not even the Likud party of Bibi Netanyahu. There's a sect or something like that that are the most rabid types of people. There's about 3 or 4 of them. There's a lot of different sects in Israel. You know, I'm not talking sex. I said sectus. You know, very terrible. And there's even good people in Israel. You know, so that's why, you know, whenever you hear about Israelis getting killed or something, it's not like you can say, oh, well, that's a great thing because they're killers themselves. It's not really necessarily true. So you don't really know. There was Gilad Atzmon, for example. He's a very famous saxophonist, and he was in the IDF. I guess you had to be. It's like conscripted, and he didn't agree with anything that they had to do at all anyway. And I think there's quite a few, there used to be at least a lot of former Israeli soldiers, and they probably get a big bunch of money, so they go to India, you know, where their money goes a lot further, you know, and they maybe buy some place and they sit down and they spend some of them the rest of their life, which may not last very long because they do a lot of drugs there. Maybe to come to terms with some of the massacres that they've done. So, but anyway, like I said, 377,000 sounds like a little bit too much. And still most of them are children anyway, even Harvard admits that. Okay, so what else we have? Iran suspends cooperation with the IAEA, what is it called? The International Atomic Energy Agency. And of course, why wouldn't they? Grossi put something out, I guess, at the beginning, just before this big attack, and it sounded as if he was trying to say that Iran is making nuclear weapons. And he's been coming out like every single day, but literally every single day since that thing started, trying to say, I didn't say that, I didn't say that. We have no information. He's trying to cover up for it, but the damage is already done. And I don't think the Iranians are too happy with him, because if you read what he said, it kind of sounds like he is trying to imply that somebody probably gave him they greased the skids quite a bit. You know, they got some mullahs, some, what do they call it? Kaneta, as the Germans say. You know, money. So, she liked her hat. She got a nice baseball hat. I wonder if they have it for men like that. Okay. Nice black hat. You know, Zelensky, he found a black suit finally, as you guys noticed. He was at NATO hoping he can be a big shot there. I don't even know if people are passing out some money. He's got so much money coming to him anyway that I don't see how you can possibly deal with more billions, just billions and billions. I mean, the guy's getting, every time he turns around, he's got $1 billion here, 40 billion, he's got 100 billion, 100 billion, 20 billion there, 4 billion there. Boy, Mr. Billions. What did they call that? The Russian, the golden billion. I guess that's a good description of Zelensky anyway. So anyway, he found the black suit. I don't know, maybe his, whatever he has, 60 green t-shirts, maybe they're all in the wash. He's got some black t-shirts too. I think he was maybe going into black. I don't know, maybe that's symbolic. Green is, of course, because his name, Zelensky, is very, very, it's practically the word for green in Ukrainian. Ziloni is the word in Russian, and think it's Zeleny or something like that in Ukrainian. Probably similar in Belarusian. Belarusian and Ukrainian are similar languages, I guess. Okay, but anyway, they did their family picture. You know, they're all so proud to show, look at, we're the masters of the universe. They stood up in their big group there, and Donald Trump, of course, gets to stand somewhere in the middle. And I guess Zelensky, they had him like 5 people away instead of having him like 1 or 2 people away. And Donald Trump said he's going to probably end up speaking to Zelensky. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Everybody's getting a little bit cold on Zelensky right now. You know, it's like I said, I guess now it's time for me to give up. It's time. I don't know. What is that? The back door boys? The back door. Is that the back door boys? Isn't that Starmer, Zelensky, Macron, and those 3 arsonists that were in? Is that a club? The back door? No, those are the bum boys. The bum boys. Excuse me. So let's see here. But anyway, why is Ukraine there in the first place? Everybody's asking a question. They're not even friggin' in NATO. As a matter of fact, they get more money than any NATO country. And it's like, well, and some people are saying, you know, de facto in NATO. I don't know. Sometimes you hear they're in, sometimes you hear they're out. It's just like Donald Trump, you know, he's this and then he's that, and then he goes back and he goes forth. I don't know, am I going to bomb or am I not going to bomb? You know? So, but anyway, I guess he's supposedly has been put out, he's not allowed in the top tier meetings. But there's going to be all these people that are going to cuddle up to him and tell him everything, probably get their recorders in there and record everything for him. And as you all know, Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO, oh boy, he was, Donald Trump was bending over, undid his belt, and boy, oh boy, he had him down to his knees, past his ankles maybe, and Rutte was, when he sent a letter there, Donald Trump turned around and Rutte was doing the circus seal on Donald Trump there, so I don't know. I guess it's pretty good there. I don't know. What else is going on there in NATO? I don't know. Everybody's doing their speeches. You know, but to me, I tell you what, if I was some leader, I would say, you guys can just shove that stuff. I don't want anything to do with any of that crap, NATO or not NATO. I don't know. Anyway, so Israel released photos of 7 soldiers. 7, that's God's number, isn't it? 7 soldiers that lost their lives with an IED, and probably from a Gazan, but Iran must have made it somehow. You know, Iran did everything. No, wait, no. Hamas did it. Hamas got it from Hezbollah. Hezbollah got it from Iran. So we'll bomb them all. I don't know. And anybody else? Maybe Yemen is in there too. But anyway, we're supposed to all cry for these soldiers that probably willingly went there to go around in their tank and killing Palestinians. I got a fly somewhere hanging up around here. Where is that bad boy? Hope he's gone. I should look here. Oh, the animals love me. Even the insects. Probably crawling on my face. Probably going to make a nice video if I have a fly crawling around on my face. You know, like in some of the movies. I think they had that in Indiana Jones movie. Anyway, I don't even think they had AI and deepfake stuff, so I don't think they could have pulled that stuff off back then. Probably was a real fly. Anyway, let's see. So these 7 soldiers, and of course, you know, anybody getting killed or something is not a fun thing in any case. But why do we have to cry for these people? Oh, and what did he put out? Something. Netanyahu himself, Satan-Yahu himself, he said, it's a sad day for Israel. You know, but what about these sad days? How many did Iran lose? 600 or 800? And Israel lost like 20 or something in these bombings. And what about crying for them? 20? What about all the Palestinians? What about all these children? Babies, little babies that have never even uttered their first word yet, that had their lives ended. They're brown-skinned people. They're Palestinians. Wait a minute, Israelis, some of them have brown skin too. But the Russians don't have brown skin, but they're worse than, I don't know. You got me confused here. In any case, they're inferior. Don't you know that? They're subhuman. Wait a minute. What was it? Wait a minute. What did species? No, that's the Russians. I don't know. What are they? I don't know what the Israelis call the Palestinians. Whatever they are, they are. Okay. But it's like seven, I guess, in one day or something. Oh, what a tragedy. How many die in Palestine every single day? How many die of starvation? How many get shot and killed? How many get brutalized? Maybe they're not dead on that day, but they're going to die maybe in a week later or something from their injuries. You know? Good old Israel, yeah. So, and guess what? The majority of them are children. I guess that really makes Israel really happy. Bunch of sick people. I'll bet you that Lindsey Graham is right along with them. He probably loves it just as much. And I guess they're calling that now ethno-racism. I guess, you know, you can't call it necessarily racism, but I guess it's ethno-racism. I don't know. I maybe heard a different name. What's the name that's been going around now? I have no idea. Anyway, it's not a good thing. So, let's see. I get the one on the left, you guys get the one on the right. Anyway, I guess that's about all I have to put out for today. And it's a very short video. Luckily, maybe I can upload this. I guess in this area, I think it uploads really fast. I'll tell you what, it'll probably be uploaded before I get home. And I don't know. I really can't judge when it gets uploaded fast and when it gets uploaded slow. Where should I make a photo for you guys? For the front thing? Want this one up here? I don't know. Maybe I'll get that restaurant over there in the background. That's probably what I'll do. Okay. In any case, I won't talk you guys to death. I've already done that. So, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.